If you're like most brands, you've asked this question at least once. Don't lie. What's up, socials? Happy Social Thursday. Today we're gonna address the question,
do I need to be on every social network?
First of all, your use of the word I is a little troubling. It means to me that you are not considering your audience. What do you have to do with the social networks that you're on? You're going there to meet the audience, the people, the customers. So really, you should be asking them, are you on every single social network out there? Because that means yes, I will have to be. Who is your customer? You have to know this, period, end of story. It doesn't matter who's saying you need to be on Meerkat or Pinterest. Who is your customer? If you cannot articulate that, none of this matters. Where do they hang out? What do they like to do? Online, offline? It doesn't matter. When you start to shake out these characteristics of your perfect customer, the social network to be on is going to make a lot more sense to you. Somebody who is a business owner that is just trying to connect with their audience, not some expert marketer that you're supposed to be according to you, which you're not. Also, you can be everywhere, on every social network, and be extremely mediocre, if that. Or you can be on one or two networks and completely blow it out of the water. Stop trying to fill in all of the fields on your website. Here's our Twitter, here's our Pinterest, here's our Facebook, here's our YouTube, here's our Vimeo. Here, well, I don't know why we're on both of those, but whatever. That's a whole nother discussion. Do your research, know where your audience is, and then just hang out there with them. Just hang out. Be normal. Be a personality that they actually want to care about, and then they'll care about your brand. But be very, very good at the ones that you choose. But what do you do when the next great social network pops up, right? You want to reserve your handle. You don't want someone stealing Savvy Sexy Social. That would be depressing. But then you just hold on to it and you do nothing. You do your research before you engage. The greatest thing you could ever learn from me in this scenario is to know your social funnel. What networks are you on? What is the call to action going to be? Why are you there? What is the next step for your audience? How are you taking them through the relationship building process with your brand? Hanging out with you on Facebook is great, but only if they end up back on your website, where they'll hopefully join your email list, where they're probably gonna hear about your product and possibly want to buy it. Maybe the process will be expedited more than that, but you have to understand the proper process for the relationship to build before it can actually build in other ways. You have to offer all of those avenues, and you have to make it very clear how to make it happen as your audience member. They want to know what to do next, you just have to tell them. But first you have to be on the social network where they actually hang out. Otherwise you're telling a bunch of people who don't care about you, much less will ever, what to do when they're really not planning on engaging at all. Know your social funnel, know your audience, and you will know exactly which couple of social networks you need to be on. That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. I will be back next week with your Savvy Tuesday episode, but if you are going to miss me, there will of course be a new episode of the Marketing Lifestyle Show tomorrow, Friday. That's on the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher Radio or SoundCloud. All the links are below. So go check that out, and then I'll see you again here next week.